We've got a massive MPNFL Division 1 footy show coming up on GameFace. Rosebud make it 2 in a row and eye off the top 5. Bon Beach hold off a brave but injured Mornington. Dramana knocks off Mount Eliza and takes their spot in the 5. Pines coach Paddy Swain joins us after 2 near losses, but they still won. He's about to elbow me in the head, so I better be careful. He's right next to me. Still winning though at the moment, the Pines. Big injury list. And they are, of course, last year's premiers. They're going pretty well. And check it out. The panel is wearing the new Swiss Locker ugly sweaters. Welcome to the GameFace Footy Show. My name is Dan Lonigan. Tony Blackford's here. Chris Holcomb's here. Paddy Swain is here as well. Paddy, do you like our jumpers?
Do you want me to be honest?
That's what you're here for.
I find them a little bit American, like that the Christmas time in America.
The snowflakes, aren't they, Paddy?
If we had them in the Pines colours, it would definitely be looking like Christmas.
We would
say. I'm not 100% sold, but I'm sure someone out there would like him. Tout would like him, our team manager. He likes that sort of get-up. So you look good at that, Dan.
Oh, thank you,
so
Paddy.
Dan.
I mean, there's an old saying there, which I won't go into. I'm an ugly man, but if I look good in this, well, I'm one step closer to being maybe attractive down the track at the age of 50. Now, if your club is interested in looking at designs in your club colours, other than the Pines, because Paddy's already given his view, inbox GameFace now so we can send out some samples, thanks to our great friends, a wonderful sponsor of our footy this year on GameFace at Swiss Locker. Now, Rosebud make it 2 in a row and eye off the top 5. Wayne Catt, one of our favourites, the coach of the YCW team, has given all credit to Rosebud, as he would, despite a devastated bench and losing before the match 3 of their best players in Ongarello, Wallace and Lilac. They were late withdrawals. The first quarter, LaFontaine, look at the picture. He was knocked out. That looks pretty serious. That blow to the lip and to the mouth. And so he didn't take any further part in the game. And 3 bad hamstring injuries. Minchington Hennis, who is, of course, on the Bulldogs VFL list, or Footscray VFL list, and Mazarek as well. So it makes it pretty tough, boys, doesn't it, when you lose all those players and your rotations are down.
Oh, especially in the first quarter, Dan. You know, and then you've got 3 big quarters. It's a big ground out there. Really would have suited the way Rosebud played the week before. They got their confidence up, and good luck to them. It's great for Nick Jewell and the Rosebud boys.
Spoke to Cabby on Monday morning, and he's in no way was he using that as an excuse. But I saw the state.
There is reasons, though.
I saw the state of Hutcho and Scooter on Monday night at interleague training. They were spent. They just had to spend all day on the ball running. But they didn't take anything away from Rosebud. I think we got a bit out of it the week before when Julie was having an interview and said he changed their training slightly. They were going into it with heavy legs and he sort of tapered off a little bit on the big YC ground. That probably got Rosebud over the line as well.
Do you think in hindsight, Paddy, you're not to know that you're going to get injuries like that leaving Ongarello, Wallace and Lilac, I can understand there are 3 experienced players that might have needed a rest, that Wayne Catt next time would play them?
No, you would have. I don't think that was any. I would have left them out because they went right to play.
Right.
That'd be the only reason. The thing I'm interested in is LaFontaine. If that photo comes up on the show, he's gone off to the hospital with a smashed in mouth, but he's had enough time to put his nose ring back in. I really puzzled. Why would you put your nose ring in? You're going to draw attention to your face that's been bashed up anyway. Your nose is sticking out like Rocky Balboa's. But the young blokes, that's what they do.
It's called priority, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got to get my nose ring in.
Do you see Rosebud, gentlemen, as a chance for the top 5? I mean, they're 2 terrific wins, haven't they? We saw them against Sorrento. Maybe that just shows how good Sorrento are. But I just thought they were a long way off it. But as you say, it looks like Nick Jewell has changed the way they train.
Yeah, and they probably were on that day. I mean, Sorrento is a really good side, and now, but so is YC, especially at home. I think it just gives them a bit of belief, doesn't it, Hulks? And that win against Edithvale, where they were able to kick 100 points or more, gives them a lot of belief.
The Division 1's wide open again at this time of year, which is fantastic. So you've got obviously the top 2 that have won a few games and banked them, but from 3 down to probably second last, there's not much. Was one game, 2 games between them?
100%.
It's unbelievable. So anyone can get on a roll at any stage.
It's a great competition.
It is fantastic.
Now, Bon Beach holding off a brave Mornington. Now, did you expect Bon Beach to win by more if they expect to play finals, considering Mornington suffered those 2 horrendous injuries?
Yeah, definitely. I did it early. I thought they would have won by a lot more. And if you had told me Bakes would have got injured, and Smithy.
Goose talked to me about that he wanted a really good effort from the boys and making sure that they bought into what he was doing, and I think that you caught up with him about that.
Joining me is Simon Goosey, the coach of the Mornington Footy Club. Simon, I know it's a tough day. You did get beaten, but you've also got a few injuries as well.
Yeah, look, it was a tough day, but I walk away a lot happier today. Our effort was right up there. We played some good footy. Look, we've been down on confidence, and we're a young group, and today was more like it, how we wanted to play. I thought we battled pretty well in the first quarter. We had a couple of shots on goal. It was probably a 4-goal win. They kicked, I think, 5, so yeah, we're down 1 goal. But, we come back in the second quarter. We probably owned the ball in the second quarter in our forward half, and I don't think they got it forward in their forward 50 for the first 12 minutes. The only problem was we weren't kicking goals, we were kicking some points.
What about the injuries? Do you know any more about what happened?
Yeah, our captain, Chris Baker, unfortunately he done his patella, snapped his patella. His actually kneecap is up in his thigh, so that was unfortunate. Then Ryan Smith broke his leg, so they're in hospital now. And then we had Dan Verco go, he's on crutches too. So we had one of those days where, touch wood, you don't want to go have another day like that.
Simon Goosey trying to be positive. He's a great man down at Mornington. He loves that football club and they're doing the best they can. But when you lose Chris Baker, the captain, who, gentleman's waiting on surgery to reattach the patella tendon, out for 6 to 9 months, and Ryan Smith has broken the fibular bone down near the ankle, 6 to 8 weeks in a cast, makes it pretty tough, doesn't it, Chris?
That was halfway up his leg on Saturday night, the boys were telling me. It's just that when he got his injury, he just had this massive lump halfway up his.
Really?
Yeah, and then I saw pictures of Smithy on the couch the next day, and he's no good for a while. So crippling injuries for those, but I think we mentioned with Mornington too that they're going to be in a lot of games because they'll show a bit of character, but it's getting over that line to get the 4 points. It's going to be their biggest one.
How tough will it be for a team like that have been a powerful team for a long time to go, if they do, and at this stage they're probably the favourites without a win, if they end up in second division, without, of course, writing their season off just yet?
I mean, Hulks, you don't understand Mornington better than Paddy and I.
Yeah, so basically there's a train of thought on both. One is, that'd be fantastic. We'll go down and do like a Kringle and that have done, build back up the club, get people to watch the games, be competitive every week. And there's another train of thought that they're a club that hasn't been down in the second division for 125 years. In cricket or football. No, we're not going to start now, so that's starting to, obviously, a bit of pride into it. So either way,
well, I mean, Goose is the right man because he knows the club well. Now, Dylan Jones, D. Jones they call him, and also at Bomb Beach, and the coach Steve Hughes spoke to our coach after the game after Bomb Beach had another solid win.
Got a shiner under that right eye. What happened?
I think I fell into my opponent's shoulder at an inopportune time. And it's come up quite well, apparently. I haven't seen it yet.
Well, you could have given us a bit sexier story than that. You're going toe-to-toe with some heavyweight or something.
Yeah, got him, yeah. No, that didn't happen. No.
Just look down the camera.
Clumsy.
Go in a bit closer so it shows. Come on, in you go. See, there you can see, there it is. Jeez, a bit of a... It's going to be... If it's like that now, imagine what it's going to be like in a couple of days or in the next 24 hours. But there you go. Well, you can see it just then. What do you reckon went well?
I thought our midfield were terrific. I thought Dylan Jones probably was ordinary last week. He probably acknowledged that, and I thought he responded really well. He played like he cared today, which is what we really want from him. He was invested in the game. Our midfielders were terrific. Shane McDonald, he's having a really good year, and I thought he was excellent. I thought Sean Corrigan across half back, one of our recruits, I probably thought he had his best day today. So. A fair bit of overlap run and used the ball pretty well. We moved Benny McLean onto Jackson Calder. I thought was excellent in the first half of Mornington, and he did a pretty good job as well. So lots of winners. Lockie Stenning, young fella, played really well and gave us some bite around the stoppages. So a lot of good players.
Paddy, you played them last week, Bomb Beach. How are they travelling, you reckon?
Bomb Beach is a very good side. I watched them the week before against Edithvale, and they were fantastic in that game. They were good against us. I think if they had their time again, they would have done a little bit better with the win. They had the win, and that probably set us up in the first quarter for us. And then again on the weekend, they've come out and done well. And I think Mornington, you've got to. It just shows how even the competition is. I don't never went in thinking Mornington was going to get belted. And I'm pretty sure Steve Hughes wouldn't have been like that. And
especially at Mornington, Pat.
No, exactly. The competition is that even if you're slightly off off kilter, or if you've got a few injuries or you get some key injuries in games. And who would have thought, that rotations would be so important in local footy? But you see with Mornington on the weekend, YC on the weekend, that the rotations are huge. So but Bomb Beach are tracking well, and they're as good as anyone in the competition.
Let me throw a curveball in. I know it's tough with numbers in local footy, but considering the AFL's got a lot of money, and now that the, I suppose, management of the leagues are centralised with AFL South East and AFL Barwon, etc., could you see, Paddy, the day that a 23rd player is allowed for the senior teams in particular to cater for a side that might get injuries, such as YCW, and not having a bench by half-time?
100%, and there'd be a lot of local clubs, particularly at the moment, that would love a 23rd player, given the fact that we've all got a lot of reserves missing out on games. We've all got, Langwarren's got 25 blokes missing out on a game. I think Manaliza's got 15 guys missing out on a game. Mornington's got guys. Pines has got guys. So if there was an extra bloke that could go up into the senior team, then it brings another number into your reserve. So it would be great.
I think it's a great idea. I know Glenn Carter, our boss, he and I have a different opinion, but I'll just use my favourite saying: opinions are like backsides, have all got one. But I hope that the AFL, with all the money they get, they could put a tiny one. They could. Thank you, Blackers.
Talking about his backside.
They could put a bit of money into that idea.
Backside.
Don't mention my backside again, Blackers. A bit worried about you. Now, Blackers and Hulks, let's be a bit serious for a second. This is a serious question. Who do you bank with?
Oh, Bendigo.
What about you, Paddy?
I'm not sure. My wife.
No, it is Bendigo. I rang her earlier. Definitely Bendigo. Absolutely. Bendigo. Mr. Swain, good on you. Bendigo Bank donate 20% of all profits back to local community. GameFace has just changed all their banking over to Bendigo Bank. So if you'd like to show your appreciation for all the great work that Bendigo Bank do for the local community, change your banking over to them right now.
Good to see Paddy there. That's what we do appreciate, mate. So you in that flow.
Yeah, so she's just rang through. We back with Bendigo Bank.
So does she give you an allowance every day? Is that right?
Bendigo Bank in Carrot Downs. That's where we bank. Yeah, they'll look after you down there.
Do you get a decent allowance every day to go off to school, Paddy?
Nah, not really. I get a bit of lunch money and if there's a.
You get a lunch order though, Paddy, don't you? Lunch order that comes in that little crate.
Now, Dramana knocked off Mount Eliza, have taken their spot inside the top 5. They led at every change. Landry, though, kicked 5 for Mount Eliza. We saw Dramana the previous week against Sorrento. I thought they were a bit conservative with their run off half-back, but obviously things were a bit different this week. The defence is very good, boys, and the forward line found a way.
They play that Pearce Street ground very well.
I was just going to ask you, they lost a home game?
No, I don't think.
No.
No, they beat Frankston down there.
That wasn't an upset. I think someone picked them on the panel last week, didn't they?
Yeah, Hulk's picked them.
Yeah, as we said, we've had to make the doorway double the size this week, Paddy, because he sent me a text saying I've picked all the winners this week, champion, and I thought I know who that is.
The 4:30 Saturday night text, you love those, don't you?
Oh, you do. Didn't Glenn get one a couple of weeks ago? Yeah, he did, because he picked on Beach.
No, they don't underestimate the missing of Robbie Turnbull from Mount Eliza. Went up to play his first game at Frankston.
Well, you actually said this time if he went and played at Frankston,
which he did,
Dramana would win.
Yep.
If he played for Mount Eliza would win.
Is that a worry for Mount Eliza? I tend to rely on him that if he's there, they're in most games. If he's not there, they're probably not as good a chance.
No, look, their midfield's young and they're quick, so he's just been in that good a form at the moment that you take a player out like that for a week and trying to...
And then look what Frankston did. Frankston lost by 2 points.
That was Robbie again.
I was going to say, Robbie Turnbull. Correct. You're onto something there. He's a very good player.
Jeez, how old's he? He's only young, isn't he?
22.
Right. Yeah. No chance of ever being picked up?
Oh, you have to be.
Who knows?
Hope so. Now, the next 3 for Dramana. Edie Asp, who are struggling, and that is our GameFace match of the day. We'll talk more about that later. They're a chance of winning that. Then they've got 2 at home, and as we said, great record at home. They take on your boys, Pines, and then they take on Bomb Beach. So it's a pretty tough 3 weeks for them. We'll get a good idea of how well they're travelling, won't we, Blackers and Hulks, after that.
They will get a real good gauge of where they're at because there's going to be so many games like that at the back end. Your Edithvale's a 50-50 at Edithvale. Your Bomb Beach is a 50-50. If they can get out of that 2 out of 3, that is a fantastic effort for Dramana. And I'll probably have them favourites in those 2 games.
Yeah, they're going very well at the moment.
Hulks.
Maybe not the Beach.
Where do you think they'll finish on the ladder? Considering the next 3 are tough.
It's so hard at the moment.
Too early yet?
I think you've really got 3 sides that will guaranteed at the moment.
Well, predicting the ladder at this time of year is
Guesswork.
Really difficult. It is guesswork. And
It's around 4. I didn't think it would change when Mount Eliza got in. Now Dramana have come in and replaced them.
But I think you sort of set yourself up for failure by doing it,
Oh.
because you don't know what's going on internally. You don't know how the injuries are going to go. Form, guys playing with each other getting used to playing each other for the first time. So, I mean, this time last year, I think we might have been 7th. We didn't get into the 5 until round 14.
And Paddy, last year you lost all the close games.
Yeah,
whereas at the moment you're winning games.
Yeah, we're winning close ones. Yeah.
And
The other question we need to ask is, what about Edie Asp? I mean, they are struggling. They just seem old and slow. They've gone for the wrong recruits, and we've spoken about this for a couple of weeks now. Can they make it? I mean, if they do, they'll have to get on a bit of a roll, and they'll need to start soon, won't they?
I don't think they'll make the finals this year. I think the Dramana leg speed might be a real concern to them on Saturday.
Yeah, they're just not quick
Informed
enough.
Dramana will win that game, but anyone can get on a roll on that back end. Who knows? They might turn it around. There might be something miraculous happen. They might have a team meeting, a bonding session, whatever it be, and they might string 6 or 7
They might
together.
turn 3 and 6 and then end up winning 6.
Well, at least it's capable of it.
They're a team, Paddy, with a great winning culture, haven't they?
EFL is a super club, and they've got a super list, and they've got a really good coach. There's just something not quite going right for them at the moment. But again, they've lost a few close games. It's just footy. You're going to be on the end of them, on the wrong side of them every now and again. And at the moment, it's their turn to sort of lose a few in a row. So, but they'll bounce back. They're too good a side and too good a club, and as I said, got too good a coach to not find some form. So, I think they will find some form. Whether or not it's going to be enough to get them into the finals, I don't know.
Well, let's put the blowtorch or the spotlight, will be nice, on you, Paddy. Take us through your injury list. I believe it's a very long one.
We've had a lot of injuries, but a lot of clubs have had injuries. But we've had some injuries to some real key players. We lost Aaron during the pre-season with a hamstring. Then we ended up Scanlon broke his leg in round 3 against Mornington before half time, and then that was a big one because he'd never missed a game for us. Then Bonjetti went down with a hamstring after having a sore calf. Marshall's got a knee injury. We lost 3 to knee injuries playing at the Bomb Beach ground. I find the Bomb Beach ground with that thatchy Kaikuyu grass that they sort of do knees. So we lost 3 guys after that game. Barfoot, Troy Jacobson, who's been going really well from Pearstale. But yeah,
how bad are those knees?
Marshall won't play this week. Jacobson won't play for a while. Barfoot will more than likely play this week.
So they'll all come back sometime through the year?
They'll all come back through the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's done an ACL. Manny May did an ACL in the 19s in that same week. John O'Hayden, who's a really good player on Sandingham's list, he'll come back within the next sort of 2 weeks, probably after the bye. Aaron Ludwig hasn't played yet. He'll play in the reserves this week. So we've got
Tommy McDermott.
Tom McDermott played in the seniors last week, probably a week too early.
Yep.
But we were sort of forced to bring him in with the injuries that we had. He got through, but he was a bit underdone. So yeah, we've got a few. We've got Shane Waterstone's missed the last 2 and potentially missed this week as well with a quad. So yeah, but I've been really proud of our boys, the way that we've been able to just we're a different side and we're playing a different brand of football than what we want to play, but we have to sort of rejig it a little bit with the personnel we got out. So the boys, our players, footy IQ, I guess, is at a really high level, and they've been able to sort of combat the injuries, and we're playing a really good brand.
You've learnt to win, haven't you?
Yeah, we've learned to win, but I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean, we have got that. There's a winning culture. Winning becomes a habit, and losing becomes a habit. There's no doubt about that. But I just think it's more that guys know what they've got to do in certain roles. Like on the weekend when we lost Troy Jacobson, Damien Boyle goes to that wing, plays that role, and just knows exactly what he's got to do. Plays it superbly, and you say I hate that one soldier in, one soldier out, because I don't actually think we're soldiers playing footy. But I just don't think I don't think it's war. But we have got the ability to have role players, and there's guys that are playing some really good roles for us at the moment.
And Perry Lewis-Smith, I mean, that's a positive, isn't it? He's going really well at Port Melbourne. Crackers rings me up every week and he says, we've found one there, we've got a good player there. He'll tell you whether they're good enough or not, Crackers. And he reckons he's terrific.
And this is Perry's,
down at Port Melbourne.
This is Perry's 3rd VFL club, but I believe that what he got from the Pines Footy Club in terms of game style and preparation, not from myself specifically, but from like a Bongo, from Aaron Edwards, from Paul Scanlon, from Luke Potts, who've all sort of been there. They were able to sort of bring him along and educate him, and he's gone to another level. His footy was super the first 2 rounds, and he warranted a VFL selection, and he's taken it with both hands. So it's good on him.
Yeah, fantastic, and I hope he keeps his spot. Now let's hear from a man who made his debut for Pines on the weekend, talking Port Melbourne. He's a Port Melbourne line coach, but he was available for the first time, and he helped his team get over the line against the Bombers in a pretty tight match. Robin Nahas.
Thanks to Peninsula Safety and Workwear, Fluff, Jacob Boyle, and live member from today, Guy Hendry. You kicked an important goal in the last quarter, Fluff. You wanted to make sure that one went through?
Yeah, I'm not a very good set shot. I haven't kicked a goal since round 2 last year, so I didn't even back myself in, to be honest, but yeah, went through the big sticks and yeah.
You kind of followed it all the way through, mate, and then your celebration was pretty big. It's no surprise you hadn't kicked a goal in a while. You were pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I don't come around very often, so yeah, got to get around myself, I guess.
Good on you, Fluff. And Guy, congratulations on a life membership, mate. Obviously joining your dad in that sector as well, and your older brother, I believe. You clunked one in the forward 50, passed it off to Boyle, and away you went. And then you were right there when Nahas got a nice 50. So the right spots at the right time today, mate.
Yeah, obviously Fluff works for me, so I look after him at work, and then during the game I look after him too, otherwise I get in trouble from the boss. And no, it was a good day. It was a bit of a scrappy game, but it's good to get the 4 points. 5 and zip, can't really complain, just keep on rolling on. We're not playing our best footy, still a lot to improve, so it'll be good when we get going.
Going pretty good for the outs that you guys have. What do you think of the Bombers today though, Guy?
No, I rated the Bombers before today. They've got a pretty impressive list, all 3. Forward, back, mid, they've got some good players in there, so they haven't been getting the wins on the board, but I never went in thinking it was always going to be easy, so I actually rate the Bombers, yeah.
What does it mean to be a life member at this club now, mate?
It's pretty special. Obviously, I've been here since I was young. My dad, I was sleeping under the table when my mum and dad were here all night, and to play life membership at the club I've grown up with and loved, it's a pretty special moment, yeah.
Great stuff.
Good to hear too from Jacob Boyle, who kicked the winning goal in that tight match against the Bombers, and also Guy Hendry, who has been your swingman this year, Paddy. Did you think he'd have the impact that he's had up forward? And he's really had to play there as a key forward with all injuries.
Yeah, I think, Guy actually was a forward when he first came into to the footy club, and then, or senior footy, sorry, and then he was, I think my first year he was a forward. Then we sort of worked out that he's actually probably a better backman, but with Bonjetti out, with Aaron out, he had to sort of go in there and play. He basically playing Bongo's role, and he's been fantastic. But touch wood, we get a few more back, and I can't wait for him to get back down the back line, to be honest.
And you're happy with Bo playing predominantly in defence, with Russell Gabriel being the ruckman?
And Bo, I know Bo has. When you're playing the ruck and you play well, you're getting the best players. When you play down back and you play well, you've got no chance of getting the best players. That's just the nature of the beast.
I know all about that, Paddy.
Yeah, me too. So that's the bottom line.
Yeah, I do too in my limited football career.
Isn't on board or forward, they always get the best players, but we were never in there. So we used to get the dollar pies, mate. Remember the dollar pies used to see us and appreciate our work. But but Bo's been playing some really good footy, and when he goes in the ruck, he's great. Last week he probably got beat convincingly by Corey Buchan on paper. But Corey's kicked 6. We didn't take Bo off him all day.
You put him in there.
But Corey kicked 3 from stoppages, and Bo was doing the ruck tap. And great coaching by the Frankston Bombers. They actually had Jason Kingsbury doing the ruck tap against Bo, leaving Corey loose as a goose. And he ended up kicking 3 out of stoppages. So there's 6 kicked against you, so they go in the book. But I think overall he's actually been going okay.
Now your next 3, you've got YCW. It should be a terrific match. Then we mentioned Dramana. You travel to Dramana, and then Rosebud. So as you said, no easy games there, Paddy.
No, every week. But that's I love this competition for that. I absolutely love the fact that we have to do our
Get yourself up each week, Pat.
Prepare. We never look at the record and put in a W as we used to. And I think
no, you can't.
No, you just cannot do it. You cannot do it, and you can't. And I think that the competition is so good for that. And our players just get that much better prepared. What's that?
What's he laughing at?
But our players, I don't know. Our players get that much better prepared, and our supporters can go to games and go, "This is going to be a great game." No one wants to go and watch a boring game of footy.
No.
So
nobody does, really Pat.
No. So our crowds have been great.
Now we've got the Interleague coming up. There's a couple of second division matches on May 18 as well, but the Interleague game against the Ovens and Murray League. It's a pretty good team, but Paddy, are you happy seeing we've got the coach sitting right next to you with Chris Holcomb's selections for the Interleague match against Ovens and Murray to be played at Rosebud, which you'll be able to watch live on GameFace?
Well, I saw the squad, and it's probably what you'd have. I think they're I know what you've said in the media too about how you've not gone as wide this year. So there's the obvious Sorrento, YCW players that really embracing the league and love it. And why wouldn't you put those guys in? So I know there was a lot of noise about there was 11 YC or whatever it was,
but they buy in, Hulks, don't they?
And that's what you want as a coach, as a league. You want people who buy in. But there was no. I know there was also some noise about the VFL players who didn't get put in, but I actually think interleague's a great opportunity for guys to get discovered. So if you're already on a VFL list, well, do you need to get discovered at that, at that level?
You gave them an opportunity. Chris, you and I have discussed this, and with Blackers as well on the program the last couple of weeks, about you're just not sure, are you? Because the VFL teams, with the greatest respect to them, they're not interested in the local clubs. They're interested in their own club, and they will make the decision a day before, 2 days before, which makes it tough for the local clubs to pick their teams about whether they want to play. No, he's not going to play this week, but we want him not to play for the local team because he may be required. It makes it tough, doesn't it, for you to have those players available for you?
Just let everyone know. It'd be like, well, I could pick 14 VFL listed players now, and I wouldn't know until the Thursday night before we play on the Saturday of who would be available.
And you'll be training on Monday, Wednesday, won't you?
And look, it's their priorities is VFL, which it should be, which is fantastic. So you can't rely on those guys, and you want to reward the young kids. You want to reward the local footballers who put in, train Tuesday, Thursday, play on the Saturday instead of sort of those guys. I'd love to use them, and in fact we are using a few. We've got about 4 or 5 that are on standby just in case they don't get a game. Guys like Jonas Siverson, BJ Credlin, Lockie Street, Robbie Turnbull, those guys are keen to play, but we just don't know if they're going to be available. So we're going to wait and see next week. We've got a really good squad, and if it works out, it works out.
Well, we look forward to seeing that game. It should be an absolute ripper. Now, Paddy, going back to 2018, you had a pretty settled side in the lead up to the finals. You don't have a settled side at the moment because of all your injuries, but do any 2018 final selections haunt you at all? Was there someone that was a bit unlucky, you had to have a tough conversation on the Thursday night, especially before the granny?
No, and that was my first grand final as a coach, and I didn't have to have that hard conversation. I had to have ones, in the finals of previous years, but not for a grand final. But we had as you said, we had a settled side from about round 16. And I had some guys I really felt for, though, who missed out through injury, like Corey Ashwood have put a heap of pressure on. Shane Waterstone definitely, he did his knee against Edithvale, the game that you guys covered. We had Michael Bazine with a broken foot. Liam Cox did his thumb and he was in great form. So we had probably 4 or 5 that were just in really good form and then couldn't get back in, because of injury. So, but I didn't have to have that. Blackers would have had a few of those along the journey, which is not pleasant.
Yeah, and it's always hard, isn't it? I mean, it's easy to sit there and write down the team, but when you get face to face and you have to get those words out that those guys aren't going to be in that side, that's the hardest thing.
What's the toughest call you've had, Blackers?
Leaving blokes out of grand finals.
But I mean, in regard to the toughest call of leaving a guy out of a grand final, is there one that stands out ahead of any of the others? Because you have coached a few.
Yeah, at Berwick and at Sorrento, I had to leave blokes out of grand final sides. When I went back to Frankston, I didn't have to make that tough decision. One of the boys broke down on a Thursday night.
I had one of the worst. I had Paul Dads actually played every single game and 2 finals and got left out of the grand final. We had blokes coming back from injury. Warwick Miller was coming back through.
Yeah, it's harsh.
We didn't have a match up.
And he was a long time good player, wasn't he?
He was, and he actually left the club for a couple of years after that, which was really disappointing, and I felt bad. But as a coach, you sort of got to make those decisions.
Did you speak to him straight after you'd named the team or before you'd picked the team?
Before.
You just pulled him aside, did you?
Yeah. But Paddy might have a few of those decisions with 9 coming back in.
I mean, and it's from a coach point of view, it's something I do. You have to embrace that. It's
not easy though, Pat, is it?
I would ring. If I had to do that, I would be ringing Blackie or Goose or one of the guys that's been through it before, because the last thing you probably want to do is spend all your energy and all your thoughts thinking about those poor blokes and not focus on the guys who are up.
No, so that's exactly right.
It's a real tough one.
Who do you think is your biggest rivalry at the moment?
At the moment, it's probably YCW because we're playing them this week, and then next week will be Dramana.
That's a good answer.
So that's I like it.
Sorrento's coming now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think from a past Pines player, and just if I take my coach's hat off and just go as supporters hat, I still love the YCW rivalry. I think because we've got a heap of respect for each other, but we still love to play well against each other.
And what's happened in the previous over the grand finals and all that sort of stuff, big days, big occasions.
But I also thought there was a period there when we were really average and Coringa was flying, and it was almost like your little brother knocking off the big brother, and we got
the working class suburbs of Frankston.
We were like, mate. So I felt there was a bit of a rivalry brewing there with Kringle, but then as it sort of worked out. But yeah, at the end of the day, there is obviously one game with Sorrento. We've played each other 4 times, and there've been some ripper clashes, and the people love getting down and watch those games as well. We've got a big one in round 9 against them. So,
can't wait.
But I think everyone loves beating Pines, and Pines loves beating everybody else. So yeah, I think everyone's our rival.
Now, there's a rumour doing the rounds. We were talking before about grand finals that 1T Blackford is going back to one of his former clubs where he lost his job from. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm going back to Frankston Bombers this week.
How do you feel about that?
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I've been back there before, Dan. So, but we've got a 2009 Premiership reunion, which is terrific, and they're memorable days. And back then, and I used to always say to guys that being a Premiership player, you live in the history of the club forever. So you never die. You live on forever. So that's one of the popular things, and it'll be a big day down there. So the boys are coming around to my house on Friday night.
Good.
We'll have a close 25 blokes. Kel Moore will be there. He was my chairman of selectors, and then we'll have a day on Saturday, and that'll be good.
Hope everyone enjoys it. Should be a great day for the 2009 Premiership reunion for the Bombers. Looking at the ladder, Sorrento on top, undefeated. Pine second, undefeated. And then there's a 2-game gap to Frankston YCW in third. Bond Beach going pretty well in fourth, 3-2, along with Dramana. The amount of lies with a very healthy percentage outside the top 5, as we mentioned. Those 2 teams swap places there in 6th position. Rosebud finding some form, winning their last 2. Edithvale Aspendale horribly out of form and not just losing, getting thrashed in their last couple of matches. Frankston Bombers need to find a win in the next couple of weeks. They're second bottom with 1 win, and then on the bottom without a win, unfortunately, is
form last
Mornington.
Week, Paddy, was pretty good, the Bombers, though, wasn't it?
The Bombers are a good side. Yeah, they just I don't know what happened the YC game, but last week they had a heap of spirit. I thought they played with a lot of effort, and you couldn't question their work rate. And they were extremely well coached. I thought that was actually probably one of the big days we had in the coaches box where they kept throwing things up, and we had to keep responding. So I think they're going okay. Just on your reunion, I heard a bit of a rumour that is there a bloke who played in your grand final who then went on to get a 10-year or 9-year AFL career.
There's a bloke that played in the 2009 Premiership, and he hasn't played another game at the Frankston Bombers since, and he'll play this week.
Jake Batchelor,
which is terrific.
Great, isn't it?
And Jake obviously went on. And
he was 17, wasn't he, when he played in that Premiership team?
Yeah, and then he went on to Stingrays the year after, and then he got drafted to Richmond. And I think he
wasn't a bad player at the Tigers, was he?
Mate, he played just under 100 games.
Yeah.
And then he got delisted. He come down to Frankston Dolphins. He was an assistant coach last year down at the Frankston Dolphins, and now he's the defensive coach, the backline coach at St Kilda. And you'd have to say that he's doing a good job at St Kilda because they're doing really well.
Excellent.
So it's terrific.
How many games is he likely to play?
Look, as many as he possibly can. I don't think he's played a game of football since last year, but he would give him someone to maybe play on Loudon or something like that, wouldn't it?
If they can get Jared Bowman on the park, that'd be 4 ex-AFL players playing for the Bombers on that day, which would be unbelievable.
Jared Bowman, of course, spent some time at the Bulldogs and Hawthorn. Leaper Holke leading the goal kicking on 23 at the moment, and going pretty well. Another 4 goals for the showman on the weekend. He's been ultra consistent. 6 goals, I should say, for him on the weekend. 3 the previous week. No, he'd hate that, wouldn't he? He thought he was robbed the previous week in regard to some umpiring decisions. That's just Lee. Sorry, Lee kicked 6, not 4 last week. Read my lips, as Eddie Murphy would say. He kicked 6. Jackson Calder of Mornington going pretty well too. He's kicked 18. Trent Dennis Lane 16. But Leaper Holke, a little bit like the second division, a clear leader in the goal kicking. Looking at next week's tips. Now, live stream on GameFace of the RPP call. Should be a terrific call with Lockie Kelly and the team. They do a great job. And this is a big game between Pines and Frankston YCW, the traditional rivals. One of the matches of the round, Blackers and Hulks. Who wins?
This is going to be a really interesting one. Nahas back again for another run around, mate?
No, Nahas won't play this week. He's got a port commitment, but I think after the bye he'll string 4 together.
Yeah.
4 in a row. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, that'd be really good. I think with the YC's outs at the moment, the way Pines are going, I think Pines will win at home.
Yeah,
Ongarella will come back in and Lilac as well.
Maybe Wallace.
Big Mitchington, Mazuzak. All those guys
LaFontaine.
out. Hennis, they're all out.
Makes it tough.
LaFontaine will play.
Will he?
Yeah, he'll
Even
be
with
right.
his nose piercing?
Who's ringing? You have to take that out before you play footy. Just put it back in when you go in hospital.
I think Pines will win at home. They're a very good side. Hard to beat at the moment. Have not lost for a long time. Even though YCW are an excellent side. Edwards, absolutely.
He'll only get better.
I mean, he hasn't played a lot of football this year yet.
That
But
was his first game since the grand final, apart from playing for New Zealand where he did his hammy,
They might be short Lucky Street too this week, so their avenue to goal might be very, very short without him and Hennis.
that was their issue last year, wasn't it? They just couldn't kick goals.
So if they miss those three, I think Pines will get up.
Well, that should be a very interesting game. Now, Frankston Bombers, of course, the Premiership reunion. They take on Sorrento, two of Blacker's old teams, doing battle. Now, Sorrento playing wonderful footy at the moment. Very hard to beat. Who gets Paholke?
Northover. He's very good.
Maybe Northover.
Yeah,
he's done a really good job on him in the past.
Yep, good player.
It'll be a big day down there, Dan, and Sorrento don't like travelling to Frankston Park or Baxter Park, so I'd give Frankston a chance down there. But you've got to look at
last year.
Yeah, Bombers did win last year.
You're obviously going to be down there for the day, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take Sorrento, mate.
Because you want
What?
Frankston Bombers to lose.
He's got this aura about him, the big fella.
Yeah, he
Just
does.
wandering around,
He's feeling pretty confident, isn't he?
around.
Sorry, Blackers, as much as I'd like Frankston Bombers to win for you, I think Sorrento will be pretty strong.
Sorrento have to start favourite. They're a powerful club, aren't they, and a powerful side. And they're VFL-like in their midfield.
They are. It's a magnificent midfield. Rosebud and Mornington. Now, Rosebud should make it 3 in a row and start to put the cats among the pigeons regarding maybe a finals berth, Paddy, which would be terrific.
Doing a great job down there, and they've got a lot of depth. Their reserves are going well. They're slowly getting their 19s back up. They've got a good 17s at the moment, so they'll be good. You'd think the way that they're going with a bit of belief that they'll at home they'll go well against Mornington.
Keegan down, he's starting to pluck them too. Couple bags last week.
Played really well last week. Is he playing in the Italy team?
Yes.
Great.
Good thing about him last week was too he didn't start off super.
Yep.
And then end up kicking 5, which is a good sign. It's
Isn't that good?
Signs of maturity that you can just sort of play the 4 quarters and
work somebody over.
Yeah.
It's exciting to see Rosebud improving.
I think it's
against
wonderful.
Sorrento, they're in real trouble.
Yep.
Bomb Beach and Mount Eliza is a big game. Mount Eliza need to win, otherwise they'll be 2 and 4 and in a bit of trouble. And Bomb Beach will be 2 games ahead of them in the battle for a spot in the top 5. So basically, an 8-point game this early in the season, boys, as far as I'm concerned.
Bomb Beach, they don't have the ruck to go with DJ. He's playing in really good form at the moment, and no Turnbull through the midfield, and Mac is really fit at the moment too. So I think with those two, I think Bomb Beach will get these 4 points.
Bomb Beach got touched up there last 2 weeks ago by your mob, Paddy, but they don't lose too many games at home throughout the year, do they?
And they have a great record against Mount Eliza, at home and away.
They do.
Always, I think maybe last year was a bit of an anomaly. Mount Eliza might have beat them once, but normally Bomb Beach beat them both times.
They match up well, obviously.
And they just, generally they just smash them physically. Yeah.
And the live stream for GameFace, myself and Paul Wilson, big day, and it's a huge match for EDS to get their season back on track. Otherwise, the Wolves will be at the door, 1 and 5 and in real trouble. They take on Dramana. This should be, an interesting game because all eyes will be on EDS. Mind you, all eyes on Dramana. They could be 4 and 2 after this match.
And it's 2 different tactics. You've got one side who loves to control the air, and one side that loves to control the ground.
And run.
So I don't know.
Spread.
I think Dramana will be too quick for them.
Yeah. But small ground.
Are they able to hold them up and crowd them and cramp them into space and all that sort of stuff? But they got some wonderful runners, and Sam Fowler and Johnson and the Gertz
Billy
boys.
Quigley was good last week.
Quigley, another one. Yep.
Garn from Casey's.
Wheeler. Garn was 23rd man last week for Casey.
Good.
And there were 2 or 3 that missed a couple of weeks ago against Sorrento that'll come back into the team as well. So that'll add a bit more experience and depth to the Dramana team. So we look forward to that. So thank you, gentlemen. Thanks, Paddy. Great to have you with us. Congratulations on the success so far.
Team and give me
we'll get you one of these, but it'll have to be red and green, and you will stand out like a martini bar in the Sahara Desert. No doubt about that.
I'll be like Elf.
Yeah, you will be. Well, you look a bit like him anyway. The lookalikes from last year, we'll have to bring that back if we get your jumper exactly the same colours as Pines. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Blackers. Thanks, Fist Lockers, for allowing us to wear the jumpers today. And if your club's interested, get in touch with GameFace, and we'll put you in touch with Fist Lockers, one of our major sponsors here on GameFace. Enjoy the footy, and we'll catch you next week.